Hi folks, Danny here, and today we're going to talk about something that is deeply upsetting, angering, and quite frankly makes me question humanity on a continuous basis. Predators. That's right, I said the P word. I am an itty bitty channel and not monetized, so for me, I pretty much doesn't make a difference whether I censor words or not. Now, these undesirable humans make me infuriated beyond belief. Not just because I'm a regular person with morals and feel like abuse of any nature is without question wrong, but because it's something I've had to deal with as a child. And as a mother, I'm always on high alert to protect my babies. About a year ago, I was introduced to TikTok by my daughter. I checked out her account and how it all worked, made sure it was privated, and set up my own account so I could keep an eye on her profile. My first impression was that it was a kids app. And although I still feel like it's predominantly a kids app, it does seem fun and I have no problems with adults using it. Hell, I've even posted a few videos myself. However, any place where kids congregate, it will attract predators. When I was younger, it was the creepy adults that hung around at skate parks and outside schools, etc. But now it's online. With the growth of social media, it has become easier and easier for these predators to get access to children, befriend them, and get to them 24/7 through their phones, laptops, tablets, and that actually scares the crap out of me. I hadn't been on TikTok long when I became aware of the man named Mark Feely. Let me tell you a little bit more about this abhorrent human being who has been described as Britain's most protected paedophile and nicknamed the Nonce of the North. That makes me wish for this kind of thing, stoning to death was still a legit punishment. Mark Feely, who is in his 40s, is still roaming free despite multiple cases against him, being caught red handed several times, and he has even admitted to his crimes. Yes, admitted to it. Now, what the fuck is wrong with the world when we don't punish a person who's committed crimes that we know of and crimes they have actually admitted to? Now, CPS refused to convict this man of any sexual offences, citing mental health and learning difficulties to be the reason why he's not been convicted. Now, as far as I'm aware, though, through all the court proceedings, he is not allowed to use the internet. Now, does that stop him? Does it fuck? I mean, the man has committed actual crimes against children and not faced any consequences for it, so why would he listen to a clause that states he isn't allowed on the internet? This man is allowed to continuously groom children and abuse them, and he has it pretty cushy as far as I can see. Even though Mark dyes his hair and tries to look different, this is not a monster that a bit of hair dye can hide. You see, he has a very distinctive look, one that is easily recognisable, even when wearing a mask. So, as a known predator, people spot him often. When they do this, his location gets posted and everyone on social media knows where he is. And this, of course, brings out a level of vigilantism in people. And whilst I don't necessarily condone that behaviour, I have to wonder what the CPS, police, or social services expect people to do when it seems like they don't care and that they're protecting him. It's also costing us, the general population, not just as a danger to our children, but we as taxpayers are funding him, funding his hotels, bed and breakfasts, hostels. This man has to move frequently because he keeps being tracked down. We have paid for this man to move locations a minimum of 20 times for his own safety. His safety. I mean, what kind of fucked up world do we live in when looking after the safety and well being of a known predator is more important than protecting our children? I mean, my faith in humanity is pretty lost at this point anyway. This guy is not allowed to use social media by court order, but has multiple accounts on multiple social media sites. As you can see, these are only a few of his usernames on Snapchat, and when I looked up his Facebook, a shit ton of accounts came up. I was on TikTok a few weeks ago and he was on a live. There was, I think, about 5,000 people watching. Most of the chat was your obvious Europedo comments, etc. People were calling social services to let them know he was on a live. But there was actually people defending him and even sending him gifts. Like, the mind actually boggles. Why are people sending this man money? Kids, it seems, kind of interact with him as a bit of a joke. They know who he is, they know what he is, but they think it's funny and that he's a bit of a lol cow. But even when a child knows, I feel like this is still dangerous. The right child at the right moment can be and has been manipulated by this man. And despite all the outrage online and in real life, nothing seems to be happening. No punishment for him and no protection for others. I was even reading the comments about him on a Facebook post, and there was a woman in the section defending him. From what I gathered, she's always been a supporter of his, and although I'm blurring her name here, though quite frankly she doesn't deserve it, as far as I'm concerned, those that co-sign this behaviour are as guilty as those committing the act. It is worrying. A quick look on her profile informs us that she has 3 daughters. Why is a parent making excuses for this man? A big factor in the lack of punishment of this individual, it seems, is his mental health and learning disabilities. Now, I don't want to come off as someone who dismisses these issues, and generally that is something I would take note of, care about, have empathy with. But in this case, no. He is committing these crimes, and is he committing these crimes because of those things, or is he just an evil human? Whichever side you fall on, it really actually doesn't matter. These crimes are still being committed and children are still being victimised. Now, I think it's pretty clear what I would do to him if it was up to me, but alas, it is not. This man cannot be free in our society, whether this means jail or an indefinite stay in a mental institution. I actually really don't care which one it is, as long as he is monitored 24/7 with no access to internet or children. That's all I care about. As it just seems like the monitoring by social services is not adequate for this disgusting human. Thank you all for listening to this video. I know it's not something that I would generally put out there, but I think it was an important thing to talk about. I'll have articles and sources listed below, one of which has a list of his usernames. However, I would err on the side of caution at this point because he probably has a lot more than those. Keep an eye on your child's internet use. This is unfortunately not the only individual that is out there looking to get close to your children. And take care. I'll see you next time.